All this waiting has led to this moment. Our hope in the darkness, our prayers for peace, our reminders of joy, all make way for the return of love. We light this Advent candle to celebrate the rebirth of love, to invite love to dwell within us, to allow love to take deep root.
In the bleak and cold winter, we gather ourselves in to light the fire to warm our spirits, to kindle the flame of love and hope.
Come we now out of the darkness of our unknowing and the dusk of our dreaming. Come we now from far places. Come we now into the twilight of our awakening and the reflection of our gathering. Come we now all together. We bring unilluminated our dark caves of doubting. We seek unbedazzled the clear light of understanding. May the sparks of our joining kindle our resolve, brighten our spirits, reflect our love, and unshadow our days. Come we now, enter the dawning. Come, let us worship together. Love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony. Thus do we covenant with each and with all. For all our joys and all our sorrows, which we are holding closely to our hearts this week, let us be together in a moment of silence. Please join with me in a moment of prayer and reflection. Eternal and beloved, gracious source of all life and all love, we enter into this moment of worship, grateful for the time out of time that gives us pause to reconnect and become more fully present to ourselves, to our communities, to that which we call holy. May our joys be celebrated together, our wounds be healed together, our hearts be opened together. We enter into this final week of waiting with the understanding that it is better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. We turn from somber reflection to thoughts of love. We remember the imminent return of joy and peace and love into our world. May the work of our week be the culmination of all our Advent hopes and prayers. May old grudges be cast aside. May the fire of dreams and visions past be reignited, and may peace become the watchword of all our endeavors. Let us prepare in the wilderness of our hearts a place for the return of wonder and joy, of peace on earth and goodwill to all. All this we pray in the names of those known and unknown, present and absent, remembered and forgotten, in the names of all the helpers of humankind. Amen.
Tomorrow marks the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, and the longest night.
The sun will reach its southernmost point in the sky at about 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. the moment the earth has tilted as far away from the sun as it possibly can.
Human cultures have noted the cycles of lengthening and shortening of daylight for thousands of years, building monuments and holding celebrations to mark the birth or rebirth of the sun.
Today, many cultures still celebrate the solstice as an important moment on the calendar, as important as any other midwinter holiday.
Here at our church, we have marked the winter solstice with a ritual of quiet contemplation and celebration of fellowship.
Each year, on the evening of the solstice, we gather to sing together as we walk our evergreen spiral towards the fire at its center.
We carry unlit candles inward, thinking on things we hope to leave behind as the year turns.
We light our candles at the central fire and carry the light outwards, contemplating those things we hope to carry forward or pick up anew in the new year.
We tell the story of the rebirth of the light and welcome it back with our voices.
And then we go inside where it's warm and eat too many cookies.
But this year is different.
This year, we're keeping physically distant for everyone's health and safety.
And while we do this out of love for one another, it doesn't mean we miss the celebration any less.
For some of you, we know that our solstice celebration is one of the most meaningful events of the year. Later on, we're going to hear from some of our church friends about what the solstice means to them and to their families.
But we didn't want to present our marking of the solstice as just a passive celebration.
We want you to be able to celebrate the longest night and the return of the sun while you're safe at home. So here's one suggestion for bringing our solstice celebration home with you this year.
First, you'll need a finger labyrinth for your table. You can use the one we gave you in your Advent bags this year, or you can download the image and print it out from the link in the service notes.
You might want to print one out for each person in your house. You can use it plain or decorate it for the season. And then once you have your labyrinth set, you'll need candles. Again, one for each person in your household.
Set some quiet time aside in the evening, maybe just before or just after dinner. Set your labyrinth and candle out on the table.
Start with a moment of silence, taking some time to think about the things you want to drop or leave behind you in the year to come.
With those things in mind, take your finger and begin to trace your way from the entrance to the center. Take your time on your walk and don't rush it.
When you reach the center of the labyrinth, picture yourself letting those things go that you've been holding in your mind. Then take 1 or 2 deep breaths.
Now, take a moment or two to call to mind things you hope to carry forward with you into the new year, or things you'd like to pick up anew.
When you feel you've paused long enough at the center and you have those new things fixed in your head, go ahead and light your candle.
Begin to trace your way back out of the spiral.
It's the same path in reverse, not the double spiral like the ones we build in the parking lot.
You can come out of the spiral in silence, or you can sing on the way out.
Here's one song we've used in past celebrations. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night.
A link to words and music for this song can be found below.
Once outside the spiral, take 1 or 2 more deep breaths, giving thanks for the cycle of the seasons and the return of longer days.
And then go and eat all the cookies.
This is an optional step.
Or is it?
We hope you'll try this at home, and that it brings to mind happy memories of solstice celebrations past.
And we hope our New Year's will bring us a chance to celebrate together again soon.
Bright blessings of the season to you all. Our reading today is from Stephanie Noble in celebration of the winter solstice. Do not be afraid of the darkness. Dark is the rich, fertile earth that cradles the seed, nourishing growth. Dark is the soft night that cradles us to rest. Only in darkness can stars shine across the vastness of space. Only in darkness is the moon's dance so clear. There is mystery woven in the dark, quiet hours. There is magic in the darkness. Do not be afraid. We are born of this magic. It fills our dreams that root, unravel, and reweave themselves in the shelter of the deep, dark night. The dark has its own hue, its own resonance, its own breath. It fills our soul, not with despair, but with promise. Dark is the gestation of our deep and knowing self. Dark is the cave where we rest and renew our soul. We are born of the darkness, and each night we return to the deep, moist womb of our beginnings. Do not be afraid of the darkness, for in the depth of that very darkness comes a first glimpse of our own light, the pure inner light of love and knowing. As it glows and grows, the darkness recedes. As we shed our light, we shed our fear and revel in the wonder of all that is revealed. So do not rush the coming of the sun. Do not crave the lengthening of the day. Celebrate the darkness, here and now, a time of richness, a time of joy.
Christine Koblenz.
And I'm Amaya Koblenz.
Winter solstice has been an important celebration for our family. It represents a time to pause, reflect, and welcome the return of the light.
The shortest day and the longest night of the year. A new season of life, a turning point, a new beginning. The look forward to spring. On the day of winter solstice, the next day will be 1 minute longer, and another the day after that. Today we turn our eyes again to the sun, letting Mother Earth warm us a bit more each day, hoping, anticipating her warmth once again.
While I'm not necessarily a winter person, I love the sights and the sounds and the rituals and the sensations of the season. The smell of the pine trees and baking in the house, the candles glowing, seasonal music, and eating pozole. Our family, we first celebrated the winter solstice spiral walk with a Waldorf community that we were a part of. And we've enjoyed sharing this tradition with friends and community members over the years. Being old enough to carry a candle and walking the spiral alone is a coming-of-age ritual in itself and a reflective seasonal ritual for adults.
An author of the yoga and meditation journal, The Elephant Journal, discusses a few steps that we can take in celebrating the winter solstice. First, she discusses processing the past year, giving thanks, reflecting on what happened. Next, we can learn to release the darkness, anything that's holding us down that we don't want to carry into the next year. Next, we can clear the space, cleansing the negative energy that many of us have from this year. And lastly, letting there be light. And every time we let something go, we create room for something new and look ahead to the year in front of us. When I was younger, winter solstice meant a little bit different thing to me. I remember gathering with the church community and celebrating around the warmth of the fire. And this year's solstice means a little bit of something different. It represents coming home from the dark and rainy state of Washington to the sunny and warm state of New Mexico. Just like solstice, it represents coming out of the darkness and into something light.
We have so many good memories of gathering the winter pine boughs from our Unitarian community, building the spiral together, lighting the fire, remembering the beauty of the candles, lighting the sacred spiral shape, being outside in the dark of night, the meditative walk to the center of darkness and returning back, bringing the light back to the world, and the sound of people chanting together. We wish you a very merry winter solstice.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Howard, and if you asked me about my favorite season, I would probably say summer. But the summer solstice doesn't hold the same allure for me that the winter solstice holds. I do like December. As a child, Christmas celebrations were always fun, filled with family and special food and, of course, presents, and also a celebration of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, since I grew up in a Protestant household. But as an adult, Christmas began to be associated with stress and complications. I also became aware that, in fact, Jesus was probably not born at this time of year, and that Christmas celebrations borrow from many cultures, not the least of which is the Wiccan celebration of Yule and the longer hours of coming sunlight. And so, maybe 25 years ago, I began to think of the solstice, the winter solstice, as a meaningful celebration for me personally. And I marked it in different ways. I might get up early and walk east towards the sun to be there for the sunrise. And then we also in the evening would light candles and enjoy the soft light as we ate dinner. And then later being held by the darkness as the flames danced and promised the return of more sunlight. So when a group at the church wanted to celebrate the solstice, I was definitely interested. Stepping into an evergreen spiral in the darkness and walking into the center of firelight while singing with others, and then walking out again by the light of the farolitos with a lit candle in my hand, And then standing in a circle while some words were spoken to the close and holy darkness is an experience I am so glad to have had. The church is unable to hold the solstice celebration this year that has become our tradition. I thank those who first suggested it and worked to make it happen, and all those since who have contributed to continuing to make it happen. And I look forward to walking the spiral with you all again and sharing hope for the days ahead. In the meantime, here at home, we'll light our candles and take a walk in the dark, since we don't like to get up early so much anymore. And whatever you celebrate in whatever way, I wish you grace and peace and joy and a happy solstice as we look forward to the promise of brighter days and being together again as a community.
Hi, we're the Greens.
Hi, we're the Greens.
I'm Erin.
I'm Silent. I'm Emily.
And I'm Jake.
And this is how we celebrate the winter solstice.
We wake up really early in the morning to go greet the sun after the winter.
And how do we
wake up in
greet
the
the
morning.
sun?
We sing a song.
Should we sing the song now?
Yes.
The sun is born again today. We greet the sun's first morning rays. We sing and celebrate the light. The sun's born in the longest night. And we sing that song while the sun comes up to celebrate the rebirth of the light. And we make, what are these?
I think they're
Oranges.
oranges with
With, they're
decorations.
clove oranges. What
Clove
shape?
oranges.
What shape do you have, Emily?
Hearts.
What shape do you have, Charlotte?
A star.
A star. What
what-
shape do I have?
Cyclops.
Why do we do this?
Because it's celebrating about it's celebrating for the sun.
And it smells nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Bread. We make bread to greet the sun.
We make
Sun
sun bread. That's
Sun
right.
bread.
A few announcements before our worship ends today. If you are a newcomer to our congregation through these video worship services, I invite you to connect with us even further through our Facebook page or through our website. And if you have any questions about what you've experienced here, please feel free to email any questions you might have or email me with a request to set up a video chat at some point. I would love to meet you and talk to you about our community here. The links for all of those are found in the service notes below this worship. And everyone, please join us this coming Thursday, the 24th, for our special Christmas Eve video service that will debut on our YouTube channel starting at 5 p.m. on the 24th. This service will have special music and our home movie Christmas pageant that I've been touting and blessings for the season. And we will also have a special collection for the minister's discretionary fund this year, as we do every Christmas Eve. The discretionary fund allows me to make emergency gifts to people in need throughout the congregation and throughout the wider Los Alamos community. This past year, thanks to your previous generosity, I have handed out almost $1,500 in aid this year, including aid for rent and utilities to keep people housed and warm in these difficult times. This coming year promises to bring even greater need about, and we need your donations now more than ever. The fund account is now open on our Givelify app and will remain open for at least the next several weeks. Download the app today to make your gift or use the link in the service notes below. You can also, for this collection, make out a check to the church and drop it off in our mailbox. Please write Christmas Eve in the memo line for that so we know where to send it. And thank you in advance for your generous spirits.
Good morning, UUs. My name is Maura Taylor. I'm the Executive Director of Self-Help here in town. And many of you, of course, will know me because I'm also a lifelong UU who has been to this church many times. Or you might know my dad, Tyler Taylor, who's also a member. I just wanted to pop in today to say thank you so much for making us the Share the Plate partner again this year for December, and to just kind of give you a little update on how things have been going this year at Self-Help. For anybody who isn't familiar with Self-Help, we were formed in 1969 and we're a small nonprofit here in Los Alamos, and we help Los Alamos, Rio Arriba County, Taos County, Northern Santa Fe County, wide swath of northern New Mexico, specifically helping people who are having trouble with basic needs especially, which are things like housing, medical care, utilities, and we're sort of a bridge to self-reliance. So we help connect people with benefits and resources. We provide seed money grants to help them start a home business or go back to school. And we provide emergency aid for housing, utilities, medical care. And so it's been a very busy year for us, as you might imagine. And people are really struggling. Of course, all of us are honestly struggling during the pandemic. I wouldn't say it's been easy for anyone. And it's been especially hard for people who are already vulnerable, undocumented people and houseless people. And we've been doing a lot of work trying to keep people in their homes. At some point recently, 45% of New Mexicans were behind on rent. And we have an eviction moratorium in place, but a lot of landlords haven't been honoring it. So we've been really doing a lot of work trying to just keep people housed and warm in this winter of the pandemic. And it's been harder than usual. We haven't had as much access to some fundraising opportunities that we normally have, most notably Salvation Army bell ringing. A lot of people don't know this, but in Los Alamos County, we actually receive all of the proceeds from the bell ringing volunteers outside Smith's each year. That money goes to specifically helping Los Alamos County residents with basic needs. So we use the money to pay rent or utilities or pay for prescriptions for people. And it's actually a pretty big source of funding for us. It's about $20,000 that we would normally have that we won't have this year. So we are extra grateful for all the wonderful support that this congregation has given us this year. And we have so many wonderful donors in this congregation, including some Lanel donors who get the 50% triad match, which is awesome. We have volunteers in the congregation. We're just so grateful for all of you. And we're especially grateful to be the Share the Plate partner again in December. And I just wanted to share that the people that your funds go to help, they know that their neighbors are the ones supporting them, and that actually really means a lot to them. A lady told me last week we had helped pay for her child's insulin, and she said that she feels differently when she's at Smith's now shopping because she knows the person checking out next to her might be someone who helped pay for that insulin for her child. So that it just means so much to people, and it means so much to me to get to be the person who experiences that gratitude, and I want to share it with you as much as I can. So I guess that's really what I came here to tell you today, is that all of your support all year round really means the world to us and to the people that we serve. And I want to wish you the best and brightest holiday that the circumstances allow. And I hope I can see you all again in person sometime soon. Thanks.
Friends, may life bless us and keep us. May the light of life shine upon us and out from within us and be gracious to us and bring us peace. For this is the day. This is the one wild and precious life we are given. So let us all find a way to rejoice and be glad in it. Go in peace.